Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this Trust Your Board live stream. My name is Stephen Wright. I am joined here by our co-host Will Monroe.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
As we teased on the last podcast, Will and I were invited into a Dynasty Startup League, and we wanted to do a live stream slash make the podcast out of the initial startup draft. So here we are, as we see that the board's already going here. This is going to be probably a longer one, so we're going to have the regular live stream video up if you want to see it in its entirety. And then once we're done here, we'll edit it down for a podcast or two, depending on the length.
Yeah, looks like we got four running backs to start the draft there, Steve.
Call.
Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara, Elliott, and now Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
So
Did I call it or did I call it?
you did. You did. A lot of people, don't really look at that time frame that you usually see differing between redraft and dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there goes David Johnson, another running back. So I know we were thinking to go wide receiver first. Seems
Yeah.
like that's
This
playing into our favor.
this really confirms it. Yeah. This is a beautiful start for us.
Any preference here? I mean, right now we got pick of the litter. I'm guessing maybe one or two will go off, but
Well, yeah. There
there's
goes D
DeAndre
Hop.
Hopkins.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that would
Um,
have been nice.
Okay, we're
And
up. And
Adams,
Adams went off the board. So we'd be looking at probably Michael
probably.
Thomas
Yeah, I was saying Thomas, Beckham, or Juju on the
or
outside,
Juju.
but
Yeah,
for me, yeah, I mean, Odell's enticing because of just the fact that he has a younger quarterback for a much longer period of time. Thomas just got the extension. I don't know. What's your preference there, Steve?
yeah, it's
Or
tough. I like Odell because of the relative safety, but his injury concerns are not cool. But yeah, I
no?
don't know what Michael Thomas is going to run into with Breeze leaving eventually, maybe even this year. So,
Yeah,
man,
I got 40 seconds here. I think it's
yeah.
definitely one of those two for me.
Yeah, Juju we might get a as he comes around to us, depending on what happens.
Yeah, people
Um,
keep going running back.
I'm gonna pull up a couple different ranking sites here.
Take your time at 25 seconds, sir.
Yeah, I'm seeing OBJ ranked ahead on most of the sites I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I see Michael Thomas at 7 for one I'm at here.
Yeah,
OBJ at 3. So, I mean, I think maybe we risk it with OBJ.
yeah, let's do it. I'll go ahead and push it in.
Let's do it.
There we
There we go.
go.
Awesome.
Okay, and yeah, hopefully
Connor. All
another one
right.
falls to us here. Connor Chubb. Okay, looking good.
Seems like everyone's going running back. Got, 4 picks ahead, 3 receivers I'd love. Yeah, all 3 still there. Michael Thomas the pick there if they get to us. Probably in
Yeah,
that order.
maybe.
Thomas, Juju, and then Evans for me.
Yeah, I would agree. There goes Todd Gurley. Okay. So yeah, this could be big, man. If we can end up with Michael Thomas as
Yeah,
well, I don't think it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna split their right. Yeah, there it is right
yeah,
there.
there you go. But I'd
That's
be okay with Juju or Evans. Now, if that goes off the board, do you still go receiver with Julio, or do we risk it with one of these running backs available?
I think I would take Julio. His age is a concern,
Hmm.
uh, but just having yeah, uh, yeah, I
Yeah, I
think I
mean
would
Mixon
go.
would be nice, Melvin would be nice, but yeah, I think it's. Oh, well, that made it easy. Julio's off the board,
There goes
so.
Julio. So yeah, that
And if this is an auto pick, it looks like it'll probably be Juju.
it was not Travis Kelsey.
Wow. Okay, I think that's an easy one, right?
Yeah, we're locking in Juju.
Let's
We'll just,
do it.
yeah, let me look here. We got the pick of quarterbacks. Just going to run through everything. Running back,
Yeah,
Joe Mixon,
got
Melvin
got
Gordon,
some
Dalvin
time.
Cook, on Johnson. At wide receiver, Juju, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Antonio Brown, and all the tight ends except for Kelsey. So, yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, same for me as well.
Uh,
I'll lock this one in for us.
cool. Thank you.
Juju it is.
Now the long wait.
Yeah, Joe Mixon off the board there. Yeah, Juju and Evans. The ranking I'm looking at here are both top 10. So
Oh yeah, we scored
mm,
big time there at wide receiver.
yeah. And now, I mean, we had the flexibility if we want to go for a younger running back for future. Great. If not, I mean, we still have those two stud receivers if we wanted to go with a third receiver.
Yeah, for sure. We'll make do
Mm-hmm.
easily. And for other viewers, this is a half-point PPR league.
Correct. Looks like roster wise, it's one quarterback, two running back, two receiver, one tight end, three any flex outside of quarterbacks, so running back, receiver, and tight end, and then 15 bench spots. No defense, no kicker.
That is,
There's Melvin Gordon, Dalvin Cook. Oh, Pat Mahomes, first quarterback off the
yeah,
board.
there we go. About where he normally goes in drafts, regular redraft league.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Baker.
I know Baker. There we
Wow.
go. I guess we're not getting Baker in this one. Oh, carry
No.
on. I know we both wanted him.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be expected.
He jumped up pretty early.
Yeah. There's still quite a few big time players on the board though, so a couple quarterbacks going early definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure. People are gonna fall to us. There goes Tyreek.
That would have been nice. Evans still on the board though. I don't think he gets back to us, but that's going to be a great pick for somebody.
Yeah, that's a great value.
Yeah, there he is. Last pick of the first round, second round. Wow. So that's going to be a Mike Evans and Saquon Barkley stack for that player, as well as T.Y. Hilton. Yeah, maybe a little early, but
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, for this
there's been a
year,
few
it's
guys
gonna
on the
depend a little bit
board.
on luck, but
Yeah. And Juju, I think, obviously you can't pass on him there, but it would have been a little more wary had we taken Michael Thomas, having two young stud receivers with aging quarterbacks.
yeah,
Felt a little easier getting OBJ to
for
pair with
sure.
him.
Yeah.
So Hilton and Cooper with 302. It looks like we are just a few picks away here, 7 picks down. Any consideration of an AJ Green who's on the board there? Obviously doubtful for a bit, but a little bit of a upside play there with the receivers we have.
It is, but I feel like there's better options on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather not grab him this early. I don't know what
Keenan
his,
Allen.
where is he going to be next year? It's a big question.
True.
You know, where is he going to get hurt next year?
Watson, Allen. So yeah, 4 picks away here. Oh, George Kittle. I was going to ask you if you were interested in him
Yeah,
maybe.
I
With,
was. I was, but
I think we got some good options there. How do you feel about Brown, Diggs, and Cooks there, top of the board?
yeah, it's really enticing. It'd be nice to lock up another running back, but it's hard to pass up somebody like that. If
Yeah, and I think we still can get a decent back, in the next round. And like people say, those running backs are all about 3-year windows. We could
yeah,
focus on rookie drafts in the future and get some older running backs for this year.
yeah, get one of
Having,
those 2020 backs.
2020 backs, everyone's talking about them.
Yeah, but we'll see
I
what
mean,
gets
right
to us.
here, Diggs is probably your safe play, and AB or Cooks a little more upside. Cooks week to week upside, while AB, has the upside to be the number 1 receiver in the year.
Yeah, and it looks like his issues are cleared up too.
What do you think in there if you had a choice of one of the riskier plays or a safer guy like Diggs?
I'd probably go AB just a pure upside.
Yeah, I think it's got to be the pick if he gets to us.
Yeah, that would be a monstrous wide receiver core. He doesn't need to be the
Yeah.
number one guy.
Oh, Marlon Mack, we can pull that trigger. We're
Marlon Mack.
on.
So I'm gonna recap the what has taken place real quick here, Will. Since our last pick, we had
Yeah.
Joe Mixon, Melvin Gordon, Dalvin Cook, Patrick Mahomes, Baker, Kerryon Johnson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. That rounded out the second, and then into the third, T.Y. Hilton, Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, Deshaun Watson, Keenan Allen, George Kittle, Leonard Fournette, and Marlon Mack. So we are back on the board.
Now I'll tell you the one rankings I'm looking at here. There's three receivers on top of our board, are also three on the top there, but it is shuffle a bit. They have Diggs at 21, Brown at 23 overall. I still think Brown's probably the move, but I guess it's really more of a youth versus age, with Antonio Brown being 30, Stephon Diggs only being 25.
Yeah, for sure. And there's plenty of running backs that we can punt and wait on, so no worries there.
Yeah, definitely not worried about that one. I'll take
Yeah.
a look at the teams behind us here, maybe, and see. It doesn't look like it's giving me the opportunity to look at their teams just now, but yeah, I think it's one of those two. I'll give you the pick here, Steve. 10 seconds.
If you're handing it to me, I want Antonio Brown. I really can't avoid that threesome there, so I'm going to go ahead and
All
grab
right,
Antonio.
let's do it. Oh man, that is pretty lethal.
Yeah, we're gonna scare some
And
people.
yeah, I still like Aaron Jones there. Could go with the rookie and Josh Jacobs. Oh, there goes Damian Williams off the board.
Chris Carson.
And I would be tempted if Diggs is still there to punt more. I don't really want to, but man,
Yeah,
if Diggs is still on the board, I don't know how we can pass up. It's
it'd be tough.
uh,
You know,
yeah,
Ertz went off the board with the last pick in the third.
hurts. Yeah, I mean, unless Diggs is there, I like Cooks, but I think I'm probably taking Jones or Jacobs over any of them. I think it's just Diggs that could tempt me here. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. It's time to lock it in. Cook's obviously the upside guy, but we could grab somebody later that's going to give us some of that boom as well.
Yeah. So if they're all on the board there, Diggs, Jones, Jacobs, any are you gonna take that temptation? Are we locking in one of those?
Oof. I would probably go with Diggs, to be honest with you. Go with Diggs, and it's a
Yeah.
long wait, but we can
Oh,
grab
there he goes. So they
a
made the choice
okay.
for us, Steve.
Yeah, don't have to worry about that.
All right. So Jones and Jacobs are probably what we're looking at here. I think there's a little bit of drop off after those two. So uh, I for me probably Jones just because I'm pretty excited about that offense, but Jacobs definitely offers a lot of upside there.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, but I do have a bit of a tiebreaker. I'm high on Aaron Jones, but he does scare me with his hamstring problems.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to go worry about that anymore because he just went off the board.
There we go.
So now we're looking at Josh Jacobs. Unfortunately, my tiebreaker was I don't know if I want two Raiders.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is something to
But
consider.
Josh Jacobs should be a three down back. I mean, Rashard will
Yeah.
spell him, but he's a pass catcher, so he's going to get work.
No, and I know we were looking at some of the other rookies here as well. Any that give you any pause? Maybe we can get a Montgomery or Sanders a little later in the draft.
Yeah, we certainly could. Sanders, Penny, Coleman, all options that might get back to us. That would have been in my game plan if Diggs was available. So, I mean, if we want
I
it and
don't.
go with Cooks, we can do that. And we get those running backs with our next two picks. It's definitely a gamble, but it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd be looking at probably a Cooks or a Galladay.
Yeah, one of the two. My lean would be Cooks just because we got such a solid wide receiver core. We can afford, we can withstand his kind of bust games. But
Yeah, and
15
he is only
seconds.
25, so it'll give us another youthful.
You
I think we risk it here.
go with Cooks.
For me, it's Cooks or Jacobs. What do you think? Try Cooks out.
Let's do it.
All right, let's see what happens
Whew.
here. 4 wide.
Yeah. Oh boy.
We'll see who ends up there. But like the way I look at it, you could always go with a Miles Sanders and maybe a Rashad Penny, and then swing back with it to Mark Ingram a little later to give you some another guy that can be solid this year at least.
Yeah, and he'll fall because of that.
Yeah.
Because of the age, we can grab a Miller to hold us over for a year,
Hmm.
so we can make it work for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but four receivers that deep with an Odell Beckham, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, Brandon Cooks, definitely looks really good to start for us. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a great combination.
And then a lot of trade bait there too. Should everything work well for receivers, but the running backs falter a bit, you definitely have the ability to move one of those top receivers there, while still not really weakening your receiving core too much.
Yeah, for sure. Especially given the gamble we're taking at running back. If something
Hmm.
happens, we can move somebody off to a team that's weaker at wide receiver.
Exactly, especially with the seems like most teams loaded up on a running back or two in those first few rounds. The teams may feel like they have the ability to make a running back move.
Yeah, for sure. When they realize their mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, usually you don't realize it for after the first year or two.
Goes in that
Andrew Luck off
quarterback.
the board.
Luck off the board.
Take a look at the quarterbacks. I don't think we're going to go one early here. See, yeah, you got Russell Wilson, Wentz, Goff, Kyler Murray. Still quite a few good options here. And there's Evan Ingram, another tight end, Devonta Freeman.
Yeah, and for everybody listening, Will and I co-own another Dynasty League as well, and I think we have a pretty good template there at the quarterback position as far as we want to grab a young upside guy. So last year we did a startup and we grabbed Baker, and then we grabbed a solid veteran that we could start throughout the year. And for us, that guy was Rivers, and then we grabbed a not young but a not a older kind of upside guy. Last year we grabbed Winston. And I think we grabbed Dalton to kind of round it out as a real deep
Mm,
depth piece. But we have a template there at quarterback. I'd imagine we're probably going to follow that again. You think so, Will?
yeah, I would think so as well. I don't even mind that for like a tight end, right? Maybe you take a Hawkinson or a Goddard, a guy that may not contribute this year, but you're kind of confident going forward. And then take a later quarterback that can give you the contributions this year.
Yeah,
So we'll
absolutely.
see how that falls out. We had Edelman, Samuel, DJ Moore, and Philip Lindsay go off the board there to start this fifth round. Josh Jacobs, whew, almost got back to us, Steve.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah,
Whew.
Derrick, Derrick Henry was that last pick there. So we had to end that fourth round. Evan Ingram, Devonta Freeman, David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, Derrick Henry. And then leading up to our pick here, Edelman, Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, Philip Lindsay, and Josh Jacobs. So we're 3 picks away.
And,
Look at the top of the board, still have an AJ Green there. Is there any temptation? I mean, already 4 receivers in, but
oof,
there's
n- no, and the reason I'm
what?
saying no is because Miles Sanders is on the board, and I kind of really want Miles
Yeah,
Sanders.
yeah, like Miles, Sony Michelle still an option. Darius Geis,
Yeah, we got good
Mike
options
Williams off
there.
the board.
And I'm
Someone we
wondering,
both liked in Mike Williams.
yeah, that's a shame. That would have been a nice play, but we're so stacked at wide
Hmm.
receiver. We're fine.
Yeah, I almost. Oh well, I was gonna say I would almost rather go Sony here with this pick, but he just goes off the board in front of
Yeah.
us as well. So we have a Darius Geis who kind of redshirted and is almost his rookie year. Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny. Then you got the Cohen, the Colemans, Ingrams. I'd almost probably be looking for, like you mentioned, maybe Miles Sanders here, and then on the swing back, either taking another shot on like a Penny, who I know we both like, or maybe reaching a bit and grabbing that Mark Ingram, someone that we are could be pretty solid with for this year. What are your thoughts, Steve?
I agree. It's kind of a shame because I love Geis, but we're clearly building a win now team, and I don't really think he's going to help us this year.
Mm-hmm.
Where Miles Sanders, yeah, he seems to be the clear pick for us on this round. And then, yeah, like you said, Penny's high on my board. I like Coleman. Ingram's great. I wonder if he would continue falling to us, given his
I think
age.
depending on who's there, I agree. I tend to think that we may be able to wait another round. And like
Yeah,
you said, there's Lamar Miller out there. There's other guys that you can get that will produce RB2-ish numbers.
yeah,
As the clock counts down here, we'll lock in Miles Sanders. But
yeah.
any
Go
other
ahead and
thoughts before I hit that button?
nope. Go ahead and lock it in.
All right, Miles Sanders it is first running back off the board for us. And like we said, maybe not somebody that's going to be an immediate RB, but for us, something that we're looking, years to compete as a chance as soon as this year.
Yeah, for sure.
An upside receiver and Chris Godwin, and then
Godwin.
Vance McDonald. That's someone who I know we both like at tight end off the board.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick considering OJ Howard's still on the board. Um, I like Vance, but I like Howard and Henry more. Um, so curious.
Yeah, so maybe a Jordan Howard or one of those running backs. I think Penny makes sense. Maybe a Geis or Coleman, but Howard would be a solid addition to the team here. Let's see if we can maybe predict if it's just based on the team right behind us has Travis Kelsey. Vance McDonald was taken to that 11th team, and Zach Ertz. So all of them have a tight end behind us. Let's see how many people in front of us will. Drew Brees off the board there.
That's early.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. There goes Lockett. So we're almost up here, Will.
So it looks like only two of the 8 teams behind us have. Mark
Have a
Ingram
tight end.
goes there. Have a quarterback, have a tight end. So I wouldn't mind taking that shot on OJ Howard here. For me, it's probably Howard or Penny.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
really wish we
think?
were on the front end of the turn right now because we're definitely not getting
Yeah,
either of them to come back to us. Um,
yeah.
oh man, there's not a lot of
I
running
think there's
backs that
probably a
I
better
love.
chance that Howard that Penny gets back to us, right?
Yeah, probably. But if we don't get them, I'm not in love with a lot of these running backs as our two.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking Penny here and punting that tight end position like we usually do, just to be you know be safe and get the second running back, and then on our way back look for a more sturdy back and a Lamar Miller type of player.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's
Mm,
tough. I'm
Yeah,
leading Penny.
it's risky. Yeah, it's risky, but I think there's a good chance that Penny and Sanders can combine to at least both be RB2s
Yeah,
throughout the
agreed.
season here. So I'll lock in Penny here.
All right, good.
Do it. Penny it is. Two running backs for us here. So a quick rundown. Miles Sanders, Job Penny as the running backs, and really looking, for these younger guys. And you can afford that by having, kind of in their prime receivers that you can bank on another 5 to 10 years of good production, and guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, Beckham, and maybe to a lesser degree Cooks and Brown.
Yeah, no, I
And
don't
there you
know
go,
if you
OJ Howard
noticed.
right off
Yeah,
the board right after us.
OJ Howard immediate. That was a quick pick
Yeah,
too. He
there's
was
still
waiting.
yeah, he must have been looking. But now if we look at it, I think that means there's probably Goku. But if they get back to us, we'll know we won't have to take a tight end with our first pick, being that all 3 teams behind us have a pretty solid tight end.
Yeah, that'll be a good position to be in.
Oh, Lamar Miller off the board. So there goes the safety RB option for us. Got a Calvin Ridley, John Allison, and Cooper Kupp.
At some point,
Tyler
Will, we're gonna have
Boyd as
to
well.
seriously discuss this AJ Green issue here.
Yeah, that I was thinking that there. I think we needed a running back too much. If he
Yeah,
gets back to us, I don't think I could pass him up. As much as there's some risk there injury wise, he could easily also come out and be a wide receiver. 2, I'd say, is if he's playing the whole year, I'd say that's safe bet.
yeah. I mean, we could be looking at having 5 or 6 wide receivers that are ones or twos,
Yeah,
realistically.
And
No,
that really makes up a lot with young running backs that you're waiting to produce. It
yeah,
goes to Robbie Anderson.
Tevin Coleman went off the board, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And at some point, Geis is going to become a nice shot. Hopefully the injury will be off of him because I would draft him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Ice has got to be could be an option for us maybe in the maybe the round after there.
Yeah, possibly. Ah, there he goes. So we don't have to
Ice,
worry
okay,
about
well that
that.
makes that one easier.
Still AJ Green.
I think that's too much to
Nah,
go. Okay, they took that
there it
temptation
is. Yeah.
away.
Okay, so yeah, that takes some pressure off of us here.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard and Will Fuller both go 3 picks to us here. If we're looking at top of the board for the rankings that I pulled up here, Corey Davis, N'Keal Harry, who just had some injury concerns come out. Cortland Sutton, Christian Kirk, maybe. Any thoughts? Maybe a younger quarterback too, taking a shot based on some of the other guys available, Steve?
Yeah, I'm not in love with any of the running backs. I'm not in love with the wide receivers. I mean, I like Kirk and Watkins, but eh. The tight
Yeah,
ends, I do like Henry a fair bit, and Joku's not bad, but I kind of want to take a shot on Carson Wentz.
yeah. I know you read my mind. I didn't really want to be the one that says it, so I don't feel as bad now that you said it here.
Yeah, I kind of went
and
Wentz because he's kind of our, we're combining the steady guy with our youth guy.
yeah,
Um,
and you could still go with another, youth guy like a Murray in a couple rounds. Have some trade bait there, but I think just based on the guys on the board at running back and receiver, I probably rather go Carson. Royce Freeman is tempting, so is a Daryl Henderson. But Jarvis
we're
Landry, here we go. We're on the board. I think maybe we go Carson and maybe take a look at either tight end or another running back next.
Yeah, I agree. Carson's definitely the guy I want.
Because then it seems like you have two positions, almost exclusively locked up in the quarterback and the receiver. And from there, we're really just working to strengthen that running back position.
Yeah, our starting roster is almost rounded out. So yeah, I'm good with Wentz.
All right, let's do it. Carson on the board.
Let's
All
see
right,
who
so
gets
now we
back to
won't have
us.
to look back there. We got Njoku and Henry both on the board here for the comeback. There goes Hunter Henry. Someone taking a second tight end. For Wilson, maybe a quarterback run starts here for us
That
there.
that would be nice.
Yeah, ending it with a Jordan Howard after Russell Wilson. So we got then this here at pick 801. And just to recap before our next pick, Carson Wentz at quarterback, Miles Sanders and Rashad Penny at running back, Odell Beckham Jr., Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, and Brandon Cooks at receiver.
So I'm looking at the tight ends. Will, do you have any interest in punting probably even further and grabbing like a Jared Cook and pairing him with a younger guy?
Yeah, I was thinking something like a Mark Andrews, a Goddard, a Fant, a Hawkinson, and pairing them with one of those older guys there. Any running backs or receivers that are drawing your attention there? We had Eckler, Henderson, and Matt Ryan go off the board,
Eh,
and we are currently up
Royce Freeman's
with
kind of
number
interesting.
10. Yeah, I think
Christian
he
Kirk.
called out to me the most.
Christian Kirk's not bad.
Yeah, you got Pettis, you got Miller, AJ Brown. I think all of them are solid. I'd probably wait around for most of them because you're getting them with your fifth receiver, so a lot of just upside play there.
Yeah.
For me, probably a Royce Freeman. He's going to probably be a 50-50 guy, but should Sanders and take a little while to get going. I wouldn't mind getting the presumed number twos in two really, I'm guessing, run heavy teams with a Penny and a Freeman who very well could take majority of the role.
Yeah, I'm down with that. You want to do that over a tight end?
Yeah, I think that's the move. I mean, there's a couple of decent tight ends if we're looking at the board in Joku, Hawkinson. I probably, we already have Odell Beckham, so maybe we want to diversify a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Go ahead and lock
Royce
it in.
Freeman.
Yeah.
All right, another running back. So that solidifies our third flex at the moment as well, with Antonio Brown, Brandon Cooks, and Royce Freeman currently in our flex position.
Indeed, and someone else will to put on our radar. We own him in our other league, but hopefully his suspension might turn people off. Chris Herndon.
Ooh, Chris Herndon is another good tight end that I know we both are interested in, and that's something that you could definitely punt away a bit. Austin Hooper seems to be someone that a lot of people are not thinking about, even though he has no competition at his position on that team, is still relatively young. As people, I feel like, just don't want to believe in him. So he's another option that kind of combines youth and ready to play.
Yeah, that is. It makes me happy that we waited on tight end. There's plenty of good options here.
Plenty of them, yeah. We'll see. This team after us is still deciding on who he wants to pick here with only 25 seconds left.
Yeah, we are flying through this draft too, Will.
Yeah, yeah. Eighth round in, and then it looks like it's about 24 total rounds. So we're about a third of the way. Cam Newton off the board there.
That's a solid
Now,
pick.
Steve, with 15 bench spots, so we're just a tight end away from our starting roster being set there. Yeah, have three running backs, four wide receivers, and a quarterback on the roster now. What are you thinking? Is your ideal roster situation? How many
Uh,
of each position do you usually look for?
so it's going to be pretty flexible depending on what happens with the draft and how people fall. Um, wow, Shady McCoy just went off the board. That's a very
Yeah,
interesting
that that,
pick.
that
Um,
Latavius Murray as well would have been a pick for us too.
yeah, but
Lamar
anyway,
Jackson.
back to your question, Will. Quarterback, I'm typically looking for three. Um, the steady starter, a young guy, and a depth piece. I'm perfectly fine with a fourth depth piece. uh,
Yeah,
if need be. I don't know if we have the roster size for it, but at least three. And the same for tight end. I want a young upside kind of guy, a steady guy that we can play, like a Jared Cook or a Hooper, or Vance
mm,
McDonald, people like that. And then another depth piece. And then the rest of my
yeah,
roster just filled out with running backs and wide receivers. Not evenly. It's kind of hard to get an even split on them. Probably end up with more wide receivers than running
yeah.
backs. But given our relative youth at the wide receiver position, maybe we do go running back heavy just to, take some shots on some guys, considering we didn't get a stud.
Yeah, given that we waited so long, we can take a lot more receiver or take a lot more shots at the running back position.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can kind of see how it works here. But yeah, I think trying to keep it even, maybe a 9-9, see the running back overall, maybe a 10-1, 8 the other. But really, by maximizing, three tight ends, three quarterbacks gives us a lot of flexibility at the rest of the roster there.
Yeah, agreed.
So Goff, Carlos Hyde, another young guy in Justice Hill that I think we both like off the board. So we're looking some deeper plays, maybe a Justin Jackson, someone who could play right away. You got a Thompson, who some people think may get some carries. Peyton Barber's solid option for us as well, with him probably getting maybe the lion's share of the carries. Any thought on a Peyton Barber, Steve?
Uh, I really like Peyton Barber. He's a solid depth piece, and I got a feeling we could wait a few rounds to grab
Mm,
him. The running back that's jumping off to me right now, there's two of them, would be Matt Breida with the upside of San Francisco, and then Devin Singletary out in Buffalo, another young guy.
Singletary too. Any
Yeah,
thought to a Duke Johnson now that he is there with an old busted and Lamar Miller?
yeah, another interesting shot, and maybe does take over that team when Lamar retires, maybe at the end of the year. I doubt it, but it's possible. He's definitely gonna give us a pass catching baseline.
I know we were talking running back there when they give some shots, but looking back at the receivers, we still have a Christian Kirk on the board there. We still have an Anthony Miller, a couple of
Ah,
pretty high upside guys to add.
Kirk,
Christian Kirk, right? It
yeah,
goes.
just went off the board, so we are up. Um, Anthony Miller, a very interesting option at wide
Yeah,
receiver.
I don't see any really safe running backs that I'm thrilled to take. Like you mentioned, a Breida, Singletary, Duke, I'd probably okay with most of them.
I
I
feel
think Miller for me stands out at his.
so. I think we grab Miller here and then see what happens. No tight ends have gone off the board, so we're still looking at like Njoku and Hawkinson, Eric Ebron.
Yeah, I, I wouldn't mind taking, maybe in the next round, taking a shot on one of those really young tight ends, and then you'll still have your Cook, your other guys
Yeah,
to fill
agreed.
in the interim. I think Anthony Miller is the pick here, though.
Yeah, gonna lock that in.
So we'll go Anthony Miller, giving us a fifth wide receiver, three running backs, and five wide receivers still currently.
D.D. Westbrook, good
So
pick.
D.D. Westbrook, yeah, that's another good upside guy we both like. Deshaun Jackson, and where we are at the turn. So what are you thinking on those tight ends that are there? Any tight ends stand out? Kind of above those running backs that are still there.
Uh yeah, probably one of the first two in Njoku or Hawkinson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Hawkinson's obviously a monster. It's just Detroit's never used the tight end position well.
Yeah.
And Joker's got a ton of upside, but he hasn't really shown that much of it. And now there's more weapons there. It's kind of worrisome.
Now
So
they did have a Callaway go down to injury and suspension and trading Duke, so that helps. Because Austin Hooper,
yeah, there goes Hooper. So that thins out the herd
Hunt has to be an interesting pick too.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that's something that we maybe consider here, just to stash him, even as a trade bait option or even just a 2020 option.
Yeah, I'm thinking Hawkinson.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we go Hawkinson, and maybe we can shot on either you know another running back like a Kareem Hunt, or we can just go with a more sturdy running back. But I think Hawkinson is the pick, and then if Njoku gets back to us, awesome. But Hawkinson's probably got the highest upside out of any of them.
yeah, for sure. Going to lock that in, and then we'll see how
All
the board
right,
falls, and we'll grab an older vet to pair with him.
TJ Hawkinson, it is. So quick rundown: Carson Wentz, running backs Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, and Royce Freeman. Receivers Odell Beckham, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, and Brandon Cooks, and T.J. Hawkinson and Anthony Miller, receiver, and T.J. Hawkinson at tight end. There goes Duke Johnson that we mentioned, and Joku, and then Fitzgerald.
Yeah, a couple guys we were interested in there, so can't say we're
Mm-hmm.
too surprised.
So we don't really have to look at some of those young tight ends. Obviously, we still can. If the value gets there, I think Goddard is a good option, but probably won't produce, and then much this year. May have to wait until Zach Ertz leaves. Herndon's probably someone we can wait on pretty long. Same with maybe in Mark Andrews or Mike Gesicki as maybe going for one of them as our third tight end options.
Yeah, I think our best kind of savvy vet right now would be Jordan Reed. Bit of a gamble given the injury concerns. There goes
Oh,
Andrews
Mark
off the
there's
board.
Andrews, yeah. No, he
Um,
did start a little bit of a trend there. You got Olsen as well, Delaney Walker, maybe.
yeah, they'll buy us a couple years. So we got some older options that we can work with.
Yeah,
Tyler
Jimmy
Eifert if we want to
Graham.
take that gamble.
Yeah, baby
You know,
hands Jack Doyle.
yes, baby hands himself. Uh, yeah, we'll make it work.
To end that round, Mitch Trubisky and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, someone I know we both liked. And then one of the goes off the board here, and Ronald Jones.
Yeah, congratulations that team. Real
Uh,
winner.
a winner. I really was going to take him here in this round. Always the 11th round, right?
Yeah, great work.
I something It'd be really tough, I think, here pass on Kareem Hunt again, just because you know that skill set that he has. It's going to be tough sledding, and we're getting another probably a 50-50 back at least this year. But there's a lot of upside there with Kareem Hunt. What are you thinking if he gets to us in this round?
Yeah, that's my thought too. Not so much this year, because what's he missing? 10 games. Um,
I think 8 games, but the bye
eight.
week's included in there as
Yeah, the
well.
bye
Yeah.
weeks included. So a lot of time. Plus, it's not like he's going to come back and just be himself right away. We've seen with running
Yeah.
backs, they miss training camp and they start off slow. So I've kind of written him off for the year, but the long term value is tremendous.
Yeah. Definitely. And then if you get a team that we start out with a good record, and you get a team that maybe has an older vet running back that could help us this year, you can always move some of your younger pieces or guys that aren't going to help you this year for someone that could.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after Ronald Jones, we had Jimmy Garoppolo, DK Metcalf, Delaney Walker, Jameis Crowder, and Kiki Kuti, who just had a pretty rough injury, if I do recall.
Yeah, he did. They say he's okay, but they did need to cart him
Mm,
off, so that's kind of concerning.
yeah, Kalen Balaj, another guy that sit in there. So Balaj, Singletary, I think for me it's probably Hunter Singletary here, just based on what's on the board.
Yep, 100%.
And then I do think we do have to think Peyton Barber eventually, maybe not this round. See how many running backs go off the board between our next pick, but maybe if a lot go off and we think about it in the 12th, but I think that 13-14 turn is a time to maybe consider Peyton Barber.
Yeah, agreed. We'll see what happens. That would be ideal, though.
Uh, Also, flipping back to quarterbacks, not that we really need to take one. Top of the board, just went off the board. Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, Stafford, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Mariota. So that just gives people an option to think, had you taken, that young quarterback, you still have Roethlisberger, Rivers, Stafford on the board. Pair with them.
Yeah, and we still got some young options in Josh Allen, Haskins, Josh
Mm-hmm.
Rosen, so Daniel Jones,
Yeah,
Drew Lock. Plenty of young
definitely.
guys that we could pair with Wentz.
Yeah,
And
definitely to something to maybe consider the next turn.
yeah,
But what do
uh,
you think? Kareem Hunt is the move here. Still a couple of
yeah,
good rookie receivers there, but I know we're usually rookie receiver guys. But our
yeah,
boy JJ Arcega-Whiteside's still there, even though we have two Eagles. Maybe that 13-14 turn we could look at him as well.
yeah. At some point, rookies this deep are gonna start paying off, and we think long
Yeah,
term a little bit. But yeah, Hunt's the pick for now. It's too much of a value.
yeah. So we'll lock it in and see who gets next here. Singletary would be nice, with all those older running backs team.
Yeah, I'd
I
love
do
that.
I do think Peyton Barber really
Oh,
solid option for us
with
if he goes out, and there he goes.
yeah, there he goes.
Philip Rivers,
So smart on that team, but that is okay.
and then Jimmy Graham ends that. So Singletary, Damian Harris gives me a little bit of an option. Well, I know we don't have too many rookies on the team, but he, should Sony get hurt, seems to be that next guy up.
Yeah, I would think so. Reports are he's not getting much work in for the Patriots, like practice wise. They're really not
Mm-hmm.
giving him a lot of reps, which is concerning. But yeah, he's a solid option there. For me, it's still Singletary as far as the running backs go. Um,
Yeah, looking at the tight end, there's still a lot of young guys, and not too much. Yeah, your Olsen, maybe a Gerald Eifert, or sorry, Gerald Everett, Tyler Eifert on the
yeah,
board as well.
yeah. So it's a tough one. My thought would be if he gets back to us, go Singletary, and then after that, we kind of pivot away from running back for a little bit here. Um,
Yeah, that would be our fifth back, which would be nice.
yeah, we haven't drafted any, wide receivers in a little while. Not that we need them, but We can always grab a young guy like a Debo or say a Whiteside, let them sit for a little while, and then wait later
Yeah.
in the draft, get maybe a Manny Sanders. Um, you
Ooh,
know,
Deion Lewis. That was another nice option as well as just kind of a safer RB 2-3 type of thing.
it was, yeah. John Brown went too. That seems kind of early,
Yeah,
but
Trey Burton as well.
and
So I
now,
think Singletary is that pick for us.
yeah. Unless is there anyone else you want to bring up?
Damian Harris, sticks out to me, but I think Singletary probably has a better track for carries this year and, in the short term future. Mike Davis, is an option just because, he starts the year with carries. But I think at the running back position, it's probably just Singletary.
Yeah, a little bit of a long-term play, but come next year, there's no one in front of him.
No, no one at all. So I think that's the move. I'm, not really looking at tight end or quarterback right now.
Yeah,
Receivers are a bunch of rookies, which, maybe don't produce this year, but could be valuable in the coming years for us.
yeah, for sure. So
So
yeah,
I
I'm
think
good.
that's the move for us here.
Yeah, lock it in.
Devin Singletary it is. So that'll give us Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, Royce Freeman, Kareem Hunt, and Devin Singletary as our running backs, all fairly young. So they, you like to think there's probably maybe a 5-year window for most of them. Your receiving core, you can afford to be a little older just because they do last longer and should have that similar window. So a lot of times trying to be about matching your windows up.
Yeah, and even though you could afford to be older, we really haven't gone older.
Mm-hmm.
Beckham is, kind of middle age, Juju very young, and Brown's older, but Brandon Cook's middle age, Miller very
Yeah,
young. So yeah, we got a lot of high performing youth on this team.
which is something that's really the gold standard there. Looking for guys that are younger but can perform.
Yeah, and so far looking at things, absolutely no regrets of going wide receiver early.
Yeah, that was something that was a little cautious. I wanted to go with the first two. Didn't think that we'd be going wide receiver first four though. But getting Miles Sanders in the fifth round is definitely something that I am completely okay with in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely, that helps out a lot.
So first rookie receiver, N'Keal Harry. I think there's a little run of rookie receivers to go with all of those that were top of the board for us.
It's certainly possible.
Ooh, Adrian Peterson. That would have been another solid running back option. Probably gets early down carries for us.
Yeah, not a bad pick. Very short term play, but
Mm-hmm.
he has his role.
Yeah, it definitely does. We got Kyle Rudolph and Dante Moncrief off the board with 3 picks left here on the 12th.
Kirk Cousins going off the board.
Jalen Samuels. Another thought could be to go with the eternal Frank Gore as well, Steve, in a couple rounds if he's still around.
I'm sure we can wait a
Yeah,
pretty long time to grab Old Man Gore.
ending that round with Tyrell Williams and starting the next with Golden Tate. So we got a guy like Justin Jackson there that may see week one work. I do
Yeah,
like a Chase Edmonds as well. I don't know that he's heavily involved right away, but I do think they'll get him on the field and maybe split David Johnson out as wide receiver and be able to get them both some work. So he's something that maybe not this round, but in the near future, I would definitely consider him.
yeah, some good options. Darwin Thompson has looked good in preseason there. Raquel Armstead's
Mm,
out there.
and I
So
think maybe pivot from there to one of those rookie receivers, or were you looking at maybe trying to lock into another tight end position?
Yeah, it might be time to strike at tight end. Maybe not necessarily with this pick, but with one of the two. There goes Justin Jackson,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But yeah, we can grab a wide receiver here, and then maybe grab a tight end on the way through, or maybe just grab two wide receivers. I'm not sure, but wide
yeah.
receiver for
So
sure.
I'm looking at the receiver. AJ Brown has the talent, maybe not the best situation. Paris Campbell looks to be the heir apparent in Indy with a young Andrew Luck. Not a big fan of Marquise Brown, but James Washington would have been nice to have he not had Juju. I know we both like Debo Samuel and JJ Arcega-Whiteside as well. Any preference on any of those guys?
No, not really. I don't like AJ Brown because of the situation. Um, Campbell, I think, could be a monster. I don't know what his value is going to be like this year,
Mm,
especially given his injury concerns so far. Like you said, no interest in Brown or Washington. Debo should be great, as well as JJ. I think it's probably might be a little early for JJ. So I'm really
yeah,
between Debo and Campbell myself.
yeah.
Um,
I think maybe getting a couple of younger receivers here would be nice. They're almost more stashes than anything.
yeah. Well, we got 10 seconds. Go ahead and make the pick, Will. Whoever you want.
All right, we'll go with Paris Campbell. I don't have any shares there, and see maybe if Debo can get back to us.
Okay, that
Get a
works.
couple of young wideouts. There's a Naeem Hines, a second Indianapolis
Indeed. Deshaun
Deshaun
Hamilton.
Hamilton, someone I know we're both interested in just overall this year, rookie
Yeah.
redraft as well. The last pick there is a Josh Allen, someone who I know we both quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have to take a look at quarterback here soon.
Yeah, you got Stafford, Mariota, Watkins, to put behind Wentz, but you probably want something, somewhat sturdy
Yeah.
there. I wouldn't mind, maybe going to young quarterback soon, and then even getting like a Foles. Seems like that recipe works out. Nick Foles and Carson Wentz on the same team pretty often.
We're on the board. Jordan Reed just went off, which is a shame,
Yeah, that would have
to
been a nice pick.
to say the least.
Yeah, Jack Doyle's still there. Someone I think produces. You still got Neifert, Seals Jones, even Jason Witten. Maybe wait on him.
Yeah.
I think probably Debo, unless there's any running backs that stand out to you. Just kind of getting these younger guys almost as just trade chips as well. Should you really need a certain position?
Yeah, Debo is where I want to make my pick, but Damian Harris is still there, and it does interest me. But I think Debo is where I want to go right now.
Yeah, I mean we probably need running back, but I like to go with players I think that are just going to be better overall players. So I think Debo could contribute this year, whether that be for our team or whether that be a show off and maybe move for a running back.
Yeah.
I think it's probably Debo here for me as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we'll go Debo. If I'm looking on the comeback, James Washington and Arcega-Whiteside are two receivers that I'm liking maybe in our next round should they get back. Still have a Nelson Aguilar there who probably has an intriguing role of being a somewhat productive receiver this year, and then maybe going somewhere and being the guy as a free agent next year.
Yeah, certainly possible. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of solid wide receiver options here,
Mm,
but not in Nunwa, who just went off the board.
not a new one. That one. That would.
Ha, ha, ha.
So what are you thinking? Next round, maybe go with either one of those receivers, maybe a young quarterback, and then waiting on those veterans. So
So this is gonna sound weird, but I don't know if we go young quarterback or if we just go Stafford. Because at this point, a young quarterback would be nice if we can grab like Daniel Jones, but he's not going to start. We
hmm
do need to consider that we need a backup for Wentz, during bye weeks or if he gets hurt. He has had some
yeah,
injuries.
looking at that, you got a Stafford. that I think starts the whole year. Don't know about Mariota or Young. I think Carr probably starts the whole year.
Dalton.
Dalton likely. Who knows? I do think Foles probably starts the whole year though, just because there's not too much there. Maybe he's not the long-term plan, but I think he probably does start the whole year. So he is probably outside of Stafford, probably my favorite option there for that steady tight end that we're looking at.
Steady quarterback, you mean?
I'm sorry, yeah, steady quarterback.
That was Foles.
Yeah, either a Foles or a Stafford.
Yeah.
But you still have Carr there. So you still have a few guys that I think, if they get back to us, we still have multiple options on the board. For me, it's probably Stafford, Carr, Dalton, or Foles out of those 30 guys.
Yeah, for sure. They're the ones we need as a backup. I guess we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of picks to go off the board. You
Yeah,
know, if
definitely.
Damian Harris is still there, then
Yeah, it's
sorry
tough to pass
quarterbacks.
up
Like,
him.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you got him. I do like Elijah McGuire. If Bell wasn't there, I think he would be a really nice option. So maybe a couple rounds from now, if he's still hanging around, he's just a talented player.
agreed.
Maybe not with great opportunity, but a good option. Chase Edmonds, like I mentioned earlier, is someone that I love. You got rookies like Thompson and Armstead, like you mentioned. There
Mhm.
goes Jack Doyle,
Yeah,
another
there's Doyle.
dirty tight end option. Darwin Thompson, the aforementioned. Still got Frank Gore on the board. Obviously, we want to wait a few rounds, but he is still available. AJ Brown, I know that neither said we're super high on him, but he is also still available.
Yeah, that's kind of a key thing. Like, even if you're not high on people, at some point they do become a value.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way things work. You can't write people off your board.
Yeah, agreed.
Except for Ronald
So
Jones. You can write Ronald Jones off your board.
completely off your board.
Like, give me Doug Martin over
That's
Ronald
probably the
Jones.
only board that I would trust is Ronald Jones's board. So looking at a couple guys just went off there at the end of that round. Thompson, Mike Davis, Damian Harris. So a little bit of a run in the running backs we were looking at. And then Mohamed Sanu to start the next one. That I think all but eliminates the running back position for me right now this round. Unless maybe a Jalen Richard or a Chase Edmonds, outside chance at a RB2 on their team sticks out.
Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, I'm in agreement. Bryce Love's down there. We could wait on him. That would be a
Yeah,
kind of pick.
2020 play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
You
got
know,
all four of the running back or the quarterbacks we're looking at. So I think for me, unless a quarterback run starts, it's probably either two receivers or a receiver and a tight end at our next turn.
yeah, I think that would make some sense.
You got a Herndon still there, who, like we mentioned, is suspended, but I think, is going to be able to produce at a low tight end 1, 2 this year. So then you just got to piece together those first 3 games at tight end.
Yeah, for sure. And that might be something where Eifert comes into play. With
Yeah,
AJ
or even
Green being suspended, if he could stay healthy for 3 games, he'll probably have value.
even a Jason Witten, like we mentioned.
Yep. And there goes Stafford off the
Uh,
board.
that's one. So that's definitely something to consider. I
Yeah.
think unless another one goes here, Albert Wilson, we probably can wait at least this first round.
Yeah. Agreed.
And if we're not really high on any tight end outside of Herndon, I think I'm willing to risk at least another round and look either Herndon or a quarterback in the next round, and then just kind of go with another one of those rookie receivers here to pair with Campbell and Dabo and Debo, and just kind of hope that if even one or two of them pan out, you're really looking good at receiver position.
Yeah, for sure. We'd have a lot of young upside plays, and then after that, we probably start
Mm,
breaking into more of our depth or a couple more depth
yeah.
issues. But Yeah, I mean the fact that AJ Brown has fallen this far is, whew.
Miko
But
Hardman, yeah.
yeah,
So I
but
think for me, it's either AJ or JJ at
uh,
this pick currently. If one of them goes off, obviously the other. I think you know it's tough, even just as an Eagles fan, for me to pass on JJ, but having and uh, and Sanders is definitely something to consider while not having any Titans. It'd be nice to get a little diversification there.
yeah, it would. We've talked about it at length. I'm definitely on the side of JJ over AJ Brown. Just he's
Hmm.
going to give you tight end upside, this year, and then, he could be taking over that team in a few years. Um, which
Yeah, I mean, there's Foreman, so I
Foreman.
think for me, it's either JJ or AJ. I'm gonna leave it up to you because I don't want to make
A
a
biased
heart over
decision.
mind pick there. So yeah, I'll leave that pick to you out of those two, unless there's anybody else you want to talk about before that. We got a nice 70 seconds.
Yeah, not in particular. A lot of good rookies still here. Isabella, Butler's still here. We got Boykin out there. We got the wide receiver in Washington. McLaurin's out there. So a lot of good rookies still. But yeah, it's definitely down to Brown and JJ. And JJ's the one I want. Give us a
Yeah, I
boost
know.
this year. Long term, he's gonna be paired with Wentz, so that's really nice. They're gonna be, we'll have
Hmm.
a lot of pieces on one of the better offenses in the league. So
Yeah, so JJ the pick there for us.
yeah, just went ahead and locked it in,
All right.
and then yeah, with our next pick, we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, I'd probably looking quarterback. If I think if we got Derek Carr, Andy Dalton, and Nick Foles as guys that I think should start the entire year. I'm probably more confident in Carr and Foles than Dalton. There's a chance that that team goes south quick and they want to see what they have before next year.
Yeah, agreed.
So
Yeah, and I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if it's any sort of tiebreaker, but we would be pairing Carr with Antonio Brown for that, Wentz bye week covering.
yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a Derek Carr and then even in a few rounds maybe looking at Foles if he's still there because Carr is still a younger guy too. So yeah, you have your youth there in those two. You don't have to worry about your third quarterback's youth.
So actually, Will, just bear with me. I'm gonna look up both teams' bye week real quick and just make sure that we're not gonna
Yeah,
get burned. So the Eagles have a
good
bye
call
week in
there.
week 10, and the Raiders week 6. So there's no overlap. Yeah, I would be okay with
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. It looks like bye week for Foles in week 10 there too. But I think Derek Carr is my pick, and we hope that a Herndon gets back to us next round.
Yep, agreed. Go ahead and lock that in there.
All right, Derek Carr finally getting our second quarterback, and here in the 16th round, you have Carson Wentz and Derek Carr. I'm pretty confident, especially from a dynasty perspective, in those two quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure. And Carr's pretty young as well, so we got some young starters
Hmm.
there, which is gonna be nice.
Yeah, I think that really solidifies quarterback position, our tight end, or sorry, receiver position was already good, and now you just have a lot of youth and upside guys that you can afford to pair with them, as your wide receiver 6, 7, and 8. At this point, I think we're really just looking for a little more, sturdiness at the running back position and at the tight end position.
Yeah, tight end's a concern right now for me. I'd love Herndon. But do recognize we need to grab one of these older guys. Um,
I think a Witten would be a nice pairing with a Herndon there. Just giving you someone that can, likely get you, 5 to 10 points in a week there until Herndon gets back.
yeah, agreed. But we'll
But I
see.
think yeah,
He got,
Herndon's probably the first guy you take, and then go from there. But hey, maybe AJ Brown will still be on the board for
that's
us.
what I was gonna say. At some point, AJ Brown's gonna be hard to pass up.
Hmm.
Falls in that Damian Harris kind of category of like,
Yeah,
yeah, you might not have a lot of value this year, but you've dropped so far.
yeah. I told myself I wasn't gonna get any Kareem Hunt shares, but Dynasty, falling to where he did, couldn't really pass up on him.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But
And I know we're both really low on Hollywood, and a lot of other
but he's
people are
still
too.
there
But
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, at some point he has a value. I don't know where it
exactly. They
is.
all
It's
do.
it's not now, but at some point.
Yeah. Hopefully, it each has value to somebody else more than us.
Yes,
If he was
please.
on our team, then you could trade him.
Yes, please, someone.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a couple of good young quarterbacks that's still there, but I mean, we probably don't need to take one maybe much later in the draft as our third quarterback if you want to wait, on a Haskins or a Daniel Jones.
Yeah, we
That's
always
a
like having that
longer
young,
play.
that young kind of project quarterback that we have to wait on. But
Hmm.
with Wentz, I don't think that's something that we have to have. We got a young
Hmm.
starter. We don't have to. It's kind of like if we drafted Baker as our starter. You don't need Haskins waiting in the wing. You're gonna have Baker for
Exactly.
a ton of years. So we can pivot off of our strategy if things
Yeah.
happen that
I
way.
think a third quarterback would be nice, maybe in the 20 to 24th round, if there is still, a starter, whether it be first half of the year, second half of the year, or someone like a Dalton or Foles that, probably will start the whole year would be nice to have. But
Yeah, we
there's a
definitely need
Gio
three.
Bernard.
Definitely need three. It
Yeah,
just
definitely
doesn't have
three.
to be a young Haskins kind
Hmm.
of star guy. We'll see.
Yeah, so there's Gio Bernard, Hunter. Yeah, their
There goes
Hurst,
Herndon.
Herndon. Gambled a bit there. So now we're gonna see if what we do here to reevaluate the strategy. You got a guy like Kasicki going into his second year. Probably has a better chance than any of these rookies. You have a Gerald Everett, Tyler Eifert, Cameron Brate probably still holds some value.
I think
No, he got paid.
who I would want now would be Eifert just to lock in a starter. Unless you really
Mm-hmm.
want to wait and grab Witten, that's fine. But I definitely think we need to grab our starter now, just in case. I mean, there's so many young upside guys with Gesicki, Irv Smith, Sternberger,
Mm-hmm.
John Smith, Dawson Knox, Josh Oliver. There's so many young options. We can get somebody at
Yeah.
some point later.
Yeah, and exactly. You have all these receivers that you could trade for a guy that is going to play now. Should you really need to?
Yeah, so we'll
Maybe
see. We got a long way to
maybe
go
you need
before our turn.
Zay Jones, Darren
Waller.
Waller's upside tight end. Everyone's salivating over. Marquise Hollywood Brown.
There he goes.
Someone took him off the board. Miles Borkin, I know someone we're both high on. I know we have quite a few rookie receivers here, but Andy Dalton, there we go. So that Derek Carr's pick's feeling a little better now.
Yeah, for sure.
Now getting a Herndon over one of those quarterbacks and hopefully having one that will come back to us. It's something that we may second guess, but I think that was an important position to lock down and really now feel fully confident there and really just be looking at the tight end and the running back position as places to shore up.
Yep.
So I think here, can you pass on an AJ Brown if he's still there?
Oh man, I don't know. Oh,
Oh,
don't have to
so
make the
make that
decision.
decision for us. Yeah, so probably not looking at receiver at that point then. Maybe we pivot back to running back here. We still have a Yeldon, a McGuire. There's still that Frank Gore option there if you wanted to get someone who's probably going to get some carries, especially being that we currently just have Sanders, Penny, Freeman, Hunt, and Singletary. So really 4 running backs if you're not going to consider Hunt.
Yeah, I feel like with the next pick we could take the tight end that we want, and then in the pick after that we
Mm,
could probably go ahead and grab Gore. Um,
leaning toward Neifert here, probably.
I'm gonna hand that to you. You can make that call because I have a thing for Eifert for whatever reason, and I don't want that bias getting in the way. So I'll give
Yeah,
that
I
option to
think
you.
the way we're at here and with the strength at quarterback, maybe you don't even have to take a third. It would be nice to, but we could always look to get an ad for here, and then maybe another young guy like Siki and another older guy like Witten,
Yeah, true.
or tight ends, and because it's a position of weakness, having some depth and just more players,
Yeah, I'm down with that.
a way to diversify. So, John Ross off the board here. So, I think we'll go with Tyler Eifert. See what
Okay.
gets back to us here at the running back, or maybe even another tight end position.
Yeah, we'll see what
So,
happens here.
yeah, I think Witten's a guy you could for some time. Maybe another round or two. But we have a Gesicki, and then we have a couple of rookie tight ends. Seals Jones goes. Any younger receivers there or running backs sticking out to you?
Uh, no, I mean Bryce Love's kind of interesting. Raquel Armstead, very interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think we need
especially
to
with the
grab
injury
him.
concern there.
Yeah, I don't think we need to grab him now. I think Gore is probably a better option. As far as the wide receiver position goes, uh, Boykin and Terry McLaurin, very interesting options. But that's about it. I like Isabella and
Oh,
Butler.
there goes Gore.
Yeah, there goes Gore. Miss. Damn. Okay. Well, what can you do?
That would have been nice. Yeah, no, nothing you can there.
Yeah.
You still got a TJ Yeldon if we want really like that Buffalo running back core. Marquise Lee off the board. Yeah, I like an Armstead. And Adams. Still some decent running backs there. Do we want to maybe lock in another tight end and really just get some depth there? I think for me, it's running back or tight end.
Yeah, I think me as well. We only got a minute. I do want to throw you a quick curveball. Any interest in
What you
Tony
got?
Pollard?
Yeah, there definitely has got to be some interest in him, especially with the Zeke information. I don't know that I'm ready to make a pick with him over some of those running backs we already named, like an Armstead. I think he's got more long term
Yeah, fair.
viability.
Yeah.
So I think it's Armstead for me. And then I do like the upside of a Gasicki, especially in an offense where there's really not too many pass catchers established. Other than that, it's really maybe an Everett or or tight end.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about Everett just because there's so
Yeah,
many options there. Yeah, Jasicki's probably the top for me. I do like Sternberger, Dawson Knox, but
yeah.
I think
I think there's a
Jasicki.
lot of guys in the same boat there. So I think for me, it's probably got to be the running back. It's been some time since we've taken one. Getting an Armstead, he could.
Oh, we only got 4 seconds left. Will, who do you?
I'm gonna lock that one in.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Okay, no, you're
Armstead.
good.
Yeah, just to get us another running back on board there, and he I think is better than just about all the rest of the backups to Fournette.
Yep, I'm good with that.
So another rookie running back there for us. So we still have, like we mentioned, quite a few tight ends that we are interested in. So we can wait and see who gets back to us there. But with Hawkinson, there's a chance that you don't have to worry about anything. If he really pans out, but having an Eifert, makes sense to start the year.
Agreed. I'm surprised some of these young quarterbacks are still on the board. Haskins,
Yeah,
Daniel Jones,
at
Drew
some point,
Lock.
yeah, at some point they become a pretty big upside play, and at some point Foles has to become an option too because he is a starter
Yeah,
in the
agreed.
league, and someone gets one injury. You got to think that there's a chance they're going to be looking to you for
Yeah,
a quarterback if you have quite a few on your team. Up there goes Foles.
yeah. And
That
another
position's trying out. Yeah,
another curveball for you here, Will.
yeah.
The ever controversial Josh Gordon.
Oh, that's definitely got to be something that. And this is a time when you think about this type of guy. You think about a Rob Gronkowski. Maybe he gets the itch to come back, and you can
Yeah,
get him extremely late.
yeah,
So
for
there's
sure.
definitely guys mentioned. There goes your Tony Pollard, Dwayne Haskins. A lot of guys were thinking there.
Yeah, it just
So
went
it
off.
definitely solidifies, your own mindset when guys that you're debating. Oh, Tony, Mike Gesicki as well go off the board.
Yeah. I wonder if they're stream sniping us and just listening in.
That's probably what it is. I
It's
know
just,
that happened with the Ballers recently, so I'm assuming people do that all the time now.
yeah, yeah, and we're popular people. I'm sure
There we are.
they
We're
found
working
us.
our way through the ranks.
Burkhead going off the board there.
Jay Myers, someone that I don't think I've heard of much, so they got us beat there.
Yeah, he's an interesting pick. He's actually above N'Keal Harry in the depth chart. And he had a good preseason game in preseason one. Not that that means anything, but yeah, him and Preston Williams get a lot of hype this week.
Yeah, at some point we look toward those kind of undrafted or very late round rookies that you think have some high upside.
Yeah, and Myers, I like him. He's got a good situation, but like you say, he's an undrafted rookie in a very complex offense. I'm not going to be taking a shot on someone like that when Boykin was on the board, Butler's on the board. There's a lot of other options. Kelvin Harmon.
Any interest in a Doug Martin to give you an option at that position, or are we looking maybe at an upside receiver or tight end?
I don't mind Doug Martin, but I feel like he's somebody that we could wait on. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I feel like he's going to drop. I don't think anybody's going to actually want him.
You definitely want to get some running backs on the team soon that can produce, because there's a world where it's really just Freeman and Penny that are on the field.
Yeah, for
Week
sure.
one, maybe Singletary and Sanders don't see the field right away. Hunt's hurt. Armstead, or sorry, Hunt's suspended. Armstead's out. So
yeah, it's certainly
definitely
possible.
Consideration. Trey Quinn is a nice pick there. Elijah McGuire, G.J. Yeldon up the board. Two more picks here before our selection.
It won't be too long. Yeah, we will see. So you thinking? You mentioned Doug Martin. Are you thinking about drafting him here?
I think it's an option. I mean, outside of him, I think maybe locking down that tight end position and reaching on Witten a little bit, just because you got someone who's going to play.
Yeah, for safety.
Him or an Everett probably are the only two guaranteed guys I'd like, unless you want to go maybe a rookie tight end.
No, I'm good locking down Witten now.
Yeah, just kind of working back. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Some nice rookie receivers, and Deontay Johnson has a chance to get the job. Akeem Butler, Terry McLaurin. But yeah, I think for me it's probably the unsexy pick in Witten.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, give us a little more solid option there at the tight end with Jason Witten. And then on the comeback here, do we go with the Martin? Do we go with one of these younger receivers? Josh Gordon, like you mentioned.
Unfortunately, it's probably Doug Martin. I guess it's better to lock in the boring depth play, and then we already got a ton of rookie wide receivers. Missing out on one of these is not going to hurt. And tight end. There's plenty of young guys still out there, and Knox and Oliver, and we could wait.
Yeah, I think rookie tight end, or even in the last round or two, just kind of taking a shot on a Gronk, and you can always cut him should need be, is the option. Getting back just to almost, I feel like there goes Doug Martin, so missed an option there. Irv Smith off the board. I think at this point, I'm almost ready to eliminate the quarterback position unless we go with a young guy maybe here, because Gerald Everett and Irv Smith go off the board as well. So maybe a Daniel Jones or a Drew Lock or a Josh Rosen. Other than that, I don't know if there's anyone else.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not in love with Rosen or Locke. I like Daniel Jones. I think he could step into an interesting
Hmm.
situation. I question, the GM there and the decision he's making. But Daniel Jones would probably be my quarterback. I really don't know what to do with the running back position. That's tough. Um,
Yeah.
that's real tough. Maybe a Wilkins is a depth play.
Yeah, I think for me it's probably Jones, just because there's a few receivers that I like, none really above the others.
Yeah,
Few young tight ends I like, none crazily above the others, and I wouldn't mind just taking Gronk toward the end.
yeah, I'm good with that. Let's
Maybe a
go ahead
Bryce
and
Love, but
let's lock it in.
kind of close out that position. And then we know we won't have to look at the quarterbacks again unless maybe a Drew Lock is there in the last round. But
Yep, I'm
so
fine with
we'll
that.
take Daniel Jones here, and we have 4 picks left after this, Steve.
Yeah, 4 picks left. Ideally, we grab some running back, a tight end, a wide receiver, so one of each of the positions, and then that fourth one, we'll just have to make a judgment call whether we're grabbing
Yeah.
Gronk with our last pick. Maybe we're taking that shot on Josh Gordon, another high upside guy if he can ever get his act together, or maybe that quarterback with our last pick. So one of each, and then a little flexibility with whatever we do at the end is what I would be aiming for.
Yeah, I think I'm completely in agreement there. Let's grab one of each of those, and then just kind of the best available guy left for us.
But we got a while to wait. Let's see. Let's see what
Yeah, we'll see
happens.
what goes off the board. I mean, couple rookie receivers I like, and King Butler I think has a ton of upside to, has that skill set, the size to be that wide receiver one in the NFL. Terry McLaurin seems like he has a really good rapport with Haskins. So maybe as an inside track to be, you know, one of the starting pass catchers. Deontay Johnson's, competing for the number 2 job, but maybe after next year Moncrief leaves and something opens up there. What are you thinking about some of those receivers those rookie receivers on the board?
So I just had a long spiel, Will, and I realized I was on mute the entire time. Um,
I was wondering where you were.
so that was fun. Luckily, we got plenty of time before we get back, so I'll
Yeah.
just go through it again real
Oh,
quick. Butler,
yeah.
the top of my list for sure, as you mentioned. Um, and then McLaurin would be second. Josh Reynolds did go. I didn't have a lot of interest in him. Deontay Johnson, I like. It's just really a muddled, grouping there for that number 2 position. So I'm not really interested in taking my shot there. Equinemius St. Brown, I don't think he's going to turn in anything in Green Bay. Jalen Hurd, I do think is interesting, especially now with Trent Taylor being hurt. He's
Mm,
going to get an opportunity out of the slot. Kelvin Harmon, I like, and then the gambler in me keeps bringing up Josh Gordon, but you know if he gets reinstated, and I think he will be, I think he's going to have a lot of fantasy relevance. He picked up that offense very quickly, and I can
And there he
stop
goes.
talking about him because he just went off the board. um,
That makes that one easier for you.
yeah, it's a nice gamble though. It's your 20th pick.
Yeah.
It's not going to burn that guy, so we'll see what happens. We both like Preston Williams. I don't know if the rosters are going to be deep enough to carry a guy like
Yeah, I
that,
think
but
probably not. I mean, yeah, you have Butler, McLaurin, Johnson, Hurd, Harmon, and Jennings. I think all probably are someone I'd consider over Preston
yeah,
Williams.
I bet he gets
Most of
drafted
them are
though.
going to go. Yeah, I think he does. I mean, maybe we get one of those receivers and then Preston the last pick. Uh, I think for us, one of those receivers makes the most sense right now. I mean, other than Love, who is not going to help us this year, there's really not too much running back wise that I want to take. Maybe take that shot on a Damari Crockett, but them trading for Duke didn't really
Yeah, that
do much
hurts.
for his value. Yeah,
Yeah, theoretics hurt. Jay Jai, I really thought was going to end up in Houston, and clearly that didn't work out. Maybe Ty
yeah,
Montgomery, in
yeah.
that
That's
kind
an
of
option too.
Elijah McGuire role. They did bring him in for a reason. He's been used in the passing game before. They can also split him out as a wide receiver. Um, so that might not be a bad depth play.
Yeah, I think for me here, unless a couple of them go, I think it's got to be a Butler, a McLaurin, or a Johnson. I think they're kind of, maybe even a Hurt. I think they're, head and shoulders above, and maybe you can get a Jace. Maybe you get a Bryce Love in the next round or two, and then kind of just see what's available. But I think Butler, McLaren, and Johnson are kind of head and shoulders above, for me, the rest of the group there.
Yeah, I agree. Butler is really the one that I would want personally.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't pick up the offense quickly this year, but I think he is the best long-term project. So I think it's Butler. If he gets to us here in 2 picks.
Yeah, that'll be an easy one to lock in.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just prepping for next round, is there any other running backs that really stick out to you?
Nope. Just
Yeah,
Love and Montgomery, and if you wanted to convince me on Jordan Wilkins, I'd be okay with that. I'm sure he'll get some RBBC work, but no, not really.
yeah, there's nothing there. I mean, and you still got a Sternberger and Knox and an Oliver. So I think for me, taking your choice of one of those guys, I'd say in a perfect world, we can get a Butler and a Sternberger back to back here, and then just go running back and then best available.
Yeah, that works for me.
Although there is one other tight end that's just popping on the board here outside of Gronk that's intriguing. We're on the board now, and then Butler I think is our pick, but while we've got some time,
Yeah, let's burn out the
Will
time.
Will Disley there?
Yeah, I saw him earlier looking through. I'm not very interested just because his breakout games were largely on just like single plays. Plus, it's not a very high
Mm-hmm.
volume passing offense. Uh, so he would be a nice shot as a deep play because we're so short on tight end. It
Mm-hmm.
could really end up working out for us. But I'm not super interested. Maybe that'd be something we can look at with our very last pick or something.
Yeah, agreed. So I'll lock in Butler here, and we'll
Okay.
see. Uh, Now, for me, it's McLaurin, Johnson, or Sternberger. I know, we have now 3 tight ends, so it would be nice to get another young guy. Maybe it's Fitzpatrick and Alfred Blue.
Yeah, if you
But those 2 receivers are very good as well.
they are we just have so many young wide receivers. I feel like we could pass them up and grab just another tight end to secure ourselves and just get that pipeline started.
Corey Clement to start this next round here.
It's an interesting pick.
Yeah, so I think tight end's probably the option, and for me, it's probably Sternberger, Knox off, and there goes McLaurin, so that
Yeah,
makes
there
it
goes
easier.
McLaurin. Yeah.
I think it's Sternberger's probably my first option here. Probably someone you're not going to play this year. Nope, there's
Taywan
Taywan Taylor.
Taylor. Good luck with that.
All right, keep picking. So, any thought outside of Sternberger? Knox or Oliver?
No, I like Knox. I mean, that situation's really up in the air.
Mm,
If you told me you wanted Knox over Sternberger, I'd be fine with that. Just because Green Bay's usage of tight end hasn't been great. I don't know if that's
mm,
was that a Mike McCarthy thing or was that an Aaron Rodgers thing? Trying to think if the 49ers had Vernon Davis back when Mike McCarthy was their OC. I don't think they did. That was a long time ago though.
yeah,
So yeah, Jace is fine with me. Another good upside guy to pair with Hawkinson.
perfect. I'm locking it in now. So we got the receiver and the tight end off the board. So at this point, we got if there's any running backs there, I think Bryce Love's a perfectly fine 23rd round pick. And then take your shot. They're looking deep here, trying to find something interesting. I can't really find anything that interests me more than Gronk, to be honest, with that
Yeah,
last pick.
yeah, that's fair.
And should he not come back in the first few weeks, and it seems like it's definitely an option. An easy early year cut.
Yeah, agreed. And then we could swap him out with somebody.
No, he would be your fifth tight end, but not someone you're planning on relying on now, and even could be stash for for a trade should someone be interested in that.
Yeah, he's just more of a depth play. I mean, it's not like he retired at the top of his game, right? He didn't
No,
look very good
no,
last
yeah,
year. So,
yeah. I suffered some of that last year as well. We had a John Kelly running back from the Rams. Just goes off the board, so they must have been listening.
yeah, that's a solid pick. There goes
Yeah,
Bryce Love.
Bryce Love, yeah, to be expected. So there's not too many. Quadre Olson, young running back from Atlanta. He could be an interesting choice.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. But we'll see here. It looks like a lot of people have left the draft, so we're just kind of burning through these picks.
Yeah, it's getting pretty quick now.
There
Ty
goes Ty
Montgomery,
Montgomery.
that would have been a nice one as well.
Yeah.
You got, Wendell Smallwood still there. Monte Booker, with, um, obviously it's a handcuff for us, but with uh, running back they just signed from Detroit, Riddick going down. It's an interesting option.
Demar-
Crockett, what was that?
I was gonna say Damaris Thomas off the board. I forgot he was still on that team.
Yeah, that is Olsen. Well, I'd say Gaskin or Crockett make the most sense for a shot at a running back.
Yeah,
Now,
probably. I would probably put my bet on Crockett. You know,
I,
I
I,
like
I got a
Gas.
curveball for you here. I know we mentioned Deontay Johnson and Jalen Hurd. They're both options for us. But Drew Lock is still there, probably the only really viable quarterback option.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a case for Will Greer, I guess, depending on how you feel
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton's doing. And maybe Bridgewater. We've played that game in other dynasty, but yeah, I agree.
Jalen Hurd.
Drew Lock would be a nice guy to stuff in that pipeline. He'd be kind of our younger guy.
Travion Williams, Jalen Hurd, Johnny Smith. I think it's probably Deontay Johnson for me right now. Gary Jennings is a good option as well. We still have our Preston Williams love too there, Lock, and then that upside shot with Gronk maybe next round. Charles Clay's an interesting pick there. Case Keenum.
Yeah, Keenum, Devontae Booker. Maurice
And
Harris isn't a
from
bad shout in New England.
yeah, that's not a bad one either. I think probably Johnson for me right now. What do you think? maybe Gary
Man, that's
Jennings.
tough. I mean, now that I point out Maurice Harris, I'm looking at our team and like our only depth wide receiver that's not a rookie is Anthony Miller,
Yeah, I
and it
mean, I
makes
wouldn't mind going with the Harris here to give us some more depth.
yeah, it's like an actual like NFL experience kind of a guy.
Yeah, we're up here. Alfred Morris, and then Will Disley went. Yeah, I mean, and then we can kind of just go best rookie or Gronk in the next round.
The next round's our last one, right?
Yes, sir. So, look like Maurice Harris, maybe.
Yeah, I'm good with Maurice Harris. Good. Let's take our
Yeah, I
shot on
mean,
Maurice Harris.
yeah, he's an easy cut if it doesn't pan out.
Yeah, and I mean he flashed in Washington too.
Yeah,
So
definitely like
now we're
Maurice
down
Harris.
between Gronk, Dawson Knox still on the board, and Drew Lock. I think would be the three in consideration for me.
Agreed. Now there may be limitations because it doesn't look like a wide receiver is an option for us.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Check that out. Oh, that's good to know.
Good to know. But I mean, those wide receivers are nice. But for me, it's probably lock unless we want to go with that shot on Gronk.
I think it's Lock as well. You know, again, if this is a little bit deeper, I'd be taking my shot on Gronk. But if he comes back, is he gonna come back healthy? Gronk,
Yeah, who knows?
probably
Deontay
not.
Johnson off the board there.
So yeah, let's grab
Any
Drew Lock
running
and
backs?
no.
No,
To put it
nothing.
bluntly, maybe you could
Yeah,
convince me on Crockett if we really want to get running back, but I think Drew Lock stuffed somebody in the pipeline, and that's going to be nice to have.
yeah. You got Locke and Jones there behind Wentz and Carr.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good with Lock.
All right, locked it in. So that is the rest of the draft. For us, we're all set. While these last ones go through, I'll run through the roster here for us. So at quarterback, we have Carson Wentz, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, and Drew Lock. At running back, we have Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, Royce Freeman, Kareem Hunt, Devin Singletary, and Raquel Armstead. So a little light, only 6 running backs on the roster. Obviously, something we'll have to address here and potentially in trades, potentially through waivers or just the draft. But with our receiving core at Odell Beckham, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, Brandon Cooks, Anthony Miller, Paris Campbell, Debo Samuel, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Hakeem Butler, and Maurice Harris. We are pretty solid there. Then tight end, we have T.J. Hawkinson, Tyler Eifert, Jason Witten, and Jace Sternberger.
Overall, I love it. We
Yeah,
got a
I mean,
lot of
across the
youth,
board.
and their studs as well. So it's not like we stacked up on a lot of rookie starters that are going to take a couple years. We got young guys that are performing in their prime right now. So this is definitely a team that's championship material, I think.
No, I completely agree. I think the running back position is a little, say a little weak. But should they pan out, I think our team is locked and loaded. And even if they don't, I do think that the receivers are going to, and Carson Wentz will be able to carry the team. And then you have a tight end that can kind of fill in. But I think Carson and those starting receivers you're pretty confident in. So
Yeah,
if
for
you can
sure.
have Hawkinson, be one of the rare rookie tight ends that really show up right away, as well as a couple of those receivers, even just get a 50-50 share. This team could be pretty scary.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely like a zero RB approach in a way. So yeah, I like it. I think we did good here.
Yeah, I think that was a really solid draft there, Steve. Thanks for everyone who joined us here as well.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks everyone. We're gonna go ahead and end the stream now. Have a good night.